I defend Justin Baldoni in this lawsuit with Blake Lively because I think she's horrible and she's made up this whole thing because she tried to steal his movie. But he is the most overly feminized man I've had to endure in recent history.
Something huge just dropped, and honestly, no one saw this coming. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's legal battle has been getting messier by the day, but this latest revelation, it's a game changer. For months, Lively has been at the center of a firestorm, accusing Baldoni of harassment and misconduct. Behind the scenes of It Ends With Us, the public was quick to take sides, many believing her claims without question. But now, there's a video, and let's just say, it tells a very different story. According to leaked footage making the rounds, Lively isn't the victim here. In fact, she's the aggressor. The clip allegedly shows her physically attacking Baldoni, something no one expected given how she's framed this entire situation. And just like that, the narrative has flipped. So what does this mean for her case? For Baldoni? For the massive $400 million lawsuit that's already in play? If this footage is legit, Lively's credibility could be in serious trouble. And that's not even the worst part, because now people are asking, was this all a lie? This scandal is spiraling fast. And the fallout, it's going to be massive. The footage is out, and it's worse than anyone imagined. Recorded in May 2023, during filming, the security video captures a moment that could completely change the course of this legal battle. According to those who've seen it, Lively is seen confronting Baldoni, her body language tense, her voice raised. She's not just upset, she's furious. And then she snaps. In the most shocking moment of the clip, she allegedly lunges at Baldoni, striking him in the chest with an open hand. Baldoni's reaction? Pure shock. He doesn't retaliate. He doesn't even raise his voice. Instead, he backs away, clearly stunned, while crew members rush in to defuse the situation. This isn't a scripted scene. It's not part of the movie. This is raw, unfiltered, behind-the-scenes footage of what appears to be a real-life altercation. But here's where things get even messier. This video didn't just magically surface. It was released by Baldoni himself. His legal team is using it as undeniable proof that Lively's allegations against him don't hold up.
Was what Blake says, a conversation that she heard had taken place with Steve Sarowitz. Steve Sarowitz is the head of Wayfair Studios. He is the co-founder of Wayfair Studios, along with Justin. And she says in this lawsuit that, is it interesting? She says, this is what I heard he said, but it's presented as a quote in the lawsuit. She says that Steve said, I will protect the studio like Israel protected itself from Hamas.
They claim it exposes her as the aggressor and completely flips the narrative she's been pushing for months. And legally, this changes everything. The footage is now a key piece of evidence, one that could seriously damage Lively's credibility in court. If the case was already on shaky ground, this could be the final nail in the coffin. At first, silence. Blake Lively and her team didn't say a word, no statements, no damage control, just radio silence, probably because they were just as shocked as everyone else when the footage dropped. But when they finally did respond, it only made things worse. According to Lively's camp, the video isn't what it seems. They claim it was taken out of context and that Baldoni deliberately provoked her off camera, pushing her to react the way she did. In other words, they're saying there's more to the story. But here's the problem. That defense, it's not landing. Instead of outright denying the footage, they're trying to reframe it, arguing that it actually supports Lively's allegations rather than disproving them. And the public, they're not buying it. The response feels weak, almost desperate. People are asking, if she really was provoked, why didn't she say that from the start? Why wait until after the footage came out? The media is already tearing apart the statement, pointing out the inconsistencies and questioning if this is just an attempt to save face. Lively's credibility was already on shaky ground, but now it's crumbling. The court of public opinion is turning fast. And if she doesn't come up with a better defense soon, this could be the scandal that ends her career. Now, it's not just about public opinion. This fight is heading straight to the courtroom, and with $400 million on the line, this legal battle is about to get even nastier. Back in January 2024.
Dear Judge Lyman, as counsel for Wayfair Studios LLC, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, It Ends With Us Movie LLC, Melissa Nathan, the Agency Group PR LLC, and Jennifer Abel, collectively the Wayfarer parties, we write to advise the court of an issue that the Wayfarer parties wish to address at the upcoming conference on Monday, February 3rd, 2020.
Baldoni officially filed a defamation and civil extortion lawsuit, not just against Blake Lively, but also against her husband, Ryan Reynolds. That's right, Reynolds is now directly involved in this mess. And according to Baldoni, he wasn't just a bystander, he was part of it. Baldoni's claim, Lively and Reynolds didn't just make false accusations, they deliberately orchestrated a full-blown smear campaign against him. He alleges that when he refused to give in to Lively's demands on set, she retaliated by accusing him of sexual harassment, weaponizing the allegations to destroy his career. And now, he's fighting back, hard. This lawsuit isn't just about clearing his name, it's about exposing what he says was a calculated attempt to ruin him. And with the leaked footage already calling Lively's credibility into question, Baldoni's case is looking stronger by the day. The stakes, absolutely massive. If Baldoni wins, it could mean financial devastation for Lively and Reynolds, not to mention irreversible damage to their reputations. But if he loses, it could reinforce the very narrative he's trying to fight against. One thing's for sure, this isn't ending anytime soon, and the deeper we go, the uglier it gets. And just when you thought the scandal couldn't get any bigger, Ryan Reynolds is now front and center.
Told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully. That Justin Baldoni, ultimately, by the time they got to the premiere, was mandated by Blake Lively to spend the night in the basement away from his co-stars and didn't even get to see the final cut of his own movie because Blake Lively insisted that she be the one to approve it.
Isn't just accusing Lively of launching a false campaign against him. He's claiming she didn't do it alone. According to the lawsuit, Reynolds wasn't just a supportive husband standing by her side. He was an active player in the entire operation. And if Baldoni's claims are true, Reynolds might be in just as much trouble as Lively. The lawsuit lays it all out. Baldoni alleges that Reynolds attended closed-door meetings with producers, applying pressure to make things go Lively's way. He claims Reynolds helped craft the accusations, carefully strategizing every detail of the smear campaign. And while Reynolds has remained completely silent in public, behind the scenes, insiders say he's been pulling the strings, doing everything he can to back up Lively's claims and keep her case from falling apart. But here's the thing, Reynolds hasn't addressed any of this. No statement, no denial, nothing. And in situations like this, silence speaks volumes. If he's innocent, why not push back? Why not clear his name? The lack of response is only fueling speculation that there's more to his involvement than anyone realized. This isn't just bad press, it's a full-blown crisis. If the lawsuit moves forward and Reynolds' role is exposed, it could be catastrophic, not just for his reputation, but for his entire career. And with the way things are unfolding, he might not be able to stay quiet for much longer. The tide is turning, and fast.
I think that the Justin and Blake stuff is, I think it's a big PR game, and I think that we're all the pawns of it. And also that story I gave you, that's one where I've talked to them. I feel comfortable sharing that much. Like, good luck. There's so many different groups out there.
First, Hollywood and the media rallied around Blake Lively. She had the public's sympathy. She was seen as the victim, speaking out against injustice in an industry where power dynamics often silence women. But now, the cracks in her story are impossible to ignore. With the leaked footage exposing a side of the story she never mentioned, people are starting to question everything. If she was willing to leave out this major detail, what else isn't she telling the truth about? The shift in public opinion has been brutal. Social media, once flooded with messages of support for Lively, is now filled with skepticism, criticism, and outright backlash. And Hollywood, they're watching this unfold in real time. Brands and studios that once stood by her are reportedly backing away, quietly distancing themselves before they get dragged into the fallout. When a scandal reaches this level, reputation is everything, and right now, Lively's is in free fall. For someone who's built a career on being America's sweetheart, this is a nightmare scenario. And the worst part, it's only getting started, piece by piece. Blake Lively's case is falling apart. The leaked video of the alleged attack was bad enough, but that's just the beginning. The more evidence surfaces, the harder it is to believe Lively's version of events. First, the footage. The security video didn't just show an argument, it completely shattered Lively's claim that she was the victim. She was the one lunging. She was the one getting physical. And Baldoni, he did nothing to provoke or escalate. That alone was a devastating blow to her credibility. Then came the unedited behind-the-scenes footage. Baldoni's team wasted no time releasing clips from the set. Unedited, raw, and most importantly, free from any sign of misconduct. The recordings show normal professional interactions, no harassment, no tension, nothing that lines up with Lively's accusations. And if there was truly something sinister happening on set, why doesn't any of it show up on tape? But what really took this to another level? The messages. According to Baldoni's legal team,
and being frank, if it were not for women giving me direct feedback in my own personal life and being a man who was willing to at least listen to them, there's no chance that I would be having this conversation. So the message, to answer your question, the message is very simple. As men, we need to embrace all of the parts of us that make us human. That's it.
It is.
It's very simple.
text messages and emails tell a completely different story, one that points to his innocence. While the full details haven't been made public yet, his attorneys claim they have receipts proving he was being manipulated, not the other way around. And now, Baldoni is going after the New York Times, accusing them of spreading what he says is fabricated evidence coming directly from Lively's camp. If his allegations hold up, this wouldn't just be a legal scandal, it would be a full-scale media takedown. Every piece of new evidence is making one thing clear. Lively's case is unraveling fast, and at this point, salvaging her reputation might be impossible. This just went from a legal battle to something far more serious. Up until now, everything is played out in civil court, lawsuits, defamation claims, and a brutal PR war. But the leaked footage, that changes everything. Because now, there's talk of potential criminal charges. The video doesn't just damage Lively's credibility, it allegedly shows physical aggression. And that's not just bad optics, that's a possible crime.
Asking for the gag order and explaining how he's talking too much. He's threatening to post stuff on public sites. So what I think is, this looks good for Baldoni, right? He's like, we want to make it all public. And sometimes lawyers can do this knowing that they can't actually do.
Legal experts are already weighing in, saying that what Lively did in that clip could qualify as assault or battery under the law. But here's the key. Baldoni hasn't taken this to law enforcement yet. Right now, the footage is being used in his civil case. But if he decides to hand it over to the authorities, that could trigger a full-blown police investigation. And if prosecutors think they have a case, Lively could be facing charges. This isn't just about money anymore. If this escalates, she could be looking at serious legal consequences, something no one saw coming when this all started. And the scariest part, this case is still unfolding. If more evidence surfaces, especially anything pointing to a pattern of behavior, Lively's legal troubles could go from bad to life-altering. What a turnaround. Just months ago, Justin Baldoni was at the center of serious allegations. His name dragged through the mud.
In Blake's first amended complaint, Blake changed what she alleges about what happened while filming the slow dance scene, now that the footage has been released for everyone to see. So what they're saying is, now that, Justin Baldoni shared the truth of what it looks like, they're no longer making the same claims. Previously, they said Miss Lively was filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Of course, Justin proved there was sound. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the camera roll and have them perform the scene, but did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Miss Lively out of character as himself.
His reputation on the line. But now, the tables have completely turned. With every new piece of evidence, Baldoni isn't just proving his innocence, he's shifting the entire narrative. What started as an attempt to destroy him has, ironically, made him look like the real victim in all of this. And the biggest reason? His decision to go public. Instead of staying quiet and letting the accusations fester, Baldoni took control, releasing the footage, unedited clips, and messages that directly contradict Lively's claims. And it's worked. The public is seeing the situation differently now. His credibility is
Justin says that Blake was determined to make him the real-life villain in her story because she wasn't doing well on the promo tour for the movie. It was very tone-deaf. Her hair care line wasn't doing well. She was trying to sell booze while talking about domestic violence. Justin says the war between himself and Blake really started in May 2023 when they started shooting the movie. He claims that she was organizing a takeover strategy.
But this isn't just about public perception. His legal team is making major moves, with Lively's defense looking weaker by the day. Baldoni's lawsuit against her and Ryan Reynolds is picking up serious momentum. More lawyers, more filings, and, according to insiders, a strategy that's only getting more aggressive. What once looked like a fight for survival is now a fight for justice. And at this point, Baldoni isn't just clearing his name. He's making sure Lively and Reynolds face the consequences of what he says was a calculated attack on his career. So where does this all end? Well, one thing is clear. Blake Lively's reputation may never recover. The leaked footage was the final blow, shattering whatever credibility she had left. For months, she controlled the narrative, painting herself as the victim. But now, the public isn't buying it. The evidence against her is too strong. The inconsistencies too obvious. Hollywood loves a redemption arc, but only when the person takes accountability. And right now, Lively isn't doing that. Meanwhile,
in a new amended complaint and the ongoing legal battle, Lively's legal team saying the experiences of Ms. Lively and others were documented at the time they occurred starting in May of 2023. Going on to write, Mr. Baldoni acknowledged the complaints in writing at the time.
He isn't just clearing his name, he's winning. The accusations that once threatened his career are now turning into proof that he was the one being wronged. His decision to release everything, every clip, every message, every piece of evidence, has worked in his favor. The lawsuit against Lively and Reynolds is gaining traction, and if he wins, the financial and professional fallout for them could be catastrophic. And let's not forget Ryan Reynolds. He's stayed quiet, but that silence isn't doing him any favors. His alleged role in the smear campaign could cost him millions, not to mention the potential damage to his image. Hollywood is built on reputation, and if his involvement is proven, he might find himself in the same boat as Lively. This scandal hasn't just changed how people see Lively, it's changed everything. Her days as one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses, over. The industry is already moving away from her.
He and 9 other plaintiffs, including his publicists, have brought a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times, essentially alleging them of libel and false light invasion of privacy. So Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, he told BBC's partner CBS that the newspaper aided and abetted a smear campaign designed to revitalise Lively's flounder.
Brands are distancing themselves, and her once loyal fans are turning against her. From A-list star to scandal-ridden outcast, this is the kind of downfall Hollywood won't forget anytime soon. This scandal started as a simple Hollywood dispute, but now, it's one of the biggest, messiest, and most shocking controversies in recent memory.
That she became uncomfortable with Justin Baldoni yesterday while she was filming. She states that Mr. Baldoni put his bare hands on her backside and said that he was trying to help her with her posture. Complainant immediately voiced her displeasure with being touched on an intimate part of her body, and Mr. Baldoni responded with, "It's fine. I'm totally hot for my wife," in a dismissive tone.
What should have been a battle over a film has turned into a full-blown legal war. One that's exposed lies, shattered reputations, and flipped the entire narrative on its head. Blake Lively once had the world on her side, but with the leaked footage proving she wasn't the victim she claimed to be. Her career is hanging by a thread. Studios are pulling away. Fans are turning on her. And unless she pulls off some kind of miracle PR recovery, this could be the scandal that officially ends her reign in Hollywood. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni has done what so many accused celebrities fail to do. He's fought back with receipts. And it's working. He's not just surviving this scandal, he's winning. Public perception has shifted. His lawsuit is gaining momentum, and every new piece of evidence makes his case even stronger. And then there's Ryan Reynolds, silent but not forgotten. If more details about his involvement come to light, this could blow up in his face too. And let's be real, when it comes to Hollywood scandals, staying quiet doesn't make the problem go away. Final takeaway, Blake Lively tried to take down Justin Baldoni, but in the end, she may have only destroyed herself. What do you think? Is there any way for Lively to come back from this? Or is this the end of her Hollywood career? Let us know in the comments.